What I was getting at about DC films is that there's this worrying thing that I'm seeing where, and you know what, Joker did it too, but I think Joker got away with it because it did end up being a decent movie. At the very least, it was pretty haunting in the way it was presented, and definitely made a lot of people feel something, very disturbed. And obviously Joker did that with Taxi and with The King of Comedy. And in my opinion, Batman did that with Seven and The Dark Knight, right? And the way I see it is I feel like it's a boardroom in a studio over at Warner Brothers. And the way I picture it is that it's a bunch of studio executives now, right? Because Hollywood is fresh out of ideas. We all know that, right? Even people that think that this Batman movie was like great, that it was a masterpiece. At the very least, we can all probably agree that Hollywood is pretty much out of ideas. And what I pictured was a bunch of executives taking comic book characters and trying to revamp them with old films that are kind of out of the pop culture consciousness at this point. And so you take very old classic critically acclaimed movies like The Taxi, right? Or sorry, Taxi Driver, and some studio executive is like, we take the Joker and we modernize it, but we give it a twist of Taxi Driver with Robert De Niro. And all the studio executives clap, right? And they're like, brilliant. And then the same thing with the Batman, where they're all in the little boardroom meeting, and one of the guys is like, I know, we take Batman and we do a younger, inexperienced Batman as a detective, but this time he's taking down a serial killer like that of the movie Seven, and everybody claps. And that's kind of what they see. It's like this word association. It's like in South Park when they have Osimo, right? Like, was it the Osimo or whatever, or the robot that Eric Cartman pretended to be? And he's like, Adam Sandler, like, is in a vacation in the Bahamas, and he falls in love with like a seal. Like, that's what I'm picturing here. And so I just feel like there's a lack of creativity from the offset with a lot of these movies, but that's okay. Movies have to be made. It's a big business. Hollywood is a big business. It's a machine that has to keep turning, right? So at the very least, even if the way these movies come to fruition is very corporate and very suits talking at a fucking meeting, that's where the creative aspect comes into play. That's where you hire a director, right? That's where you hire a capable, creative writing room, and you try to bring something to life that, even if it did come about through corporate means, through means to, to try and make as much money as possible, which I'm not like a fucking communist or something, but you know what I mean. But and the point is that maybe the end product is something artistic, something that audiences can enjoy, like a happy medium, right? Something that is just consumer friendly enough that you can sell a shit ton of toys at Walmart. And by the way, Walmart, if you go to the toy aisle, it's Batman toys everywhere, which is kind of funny, not to get off on another tangent, but it is funny when you go see the Batman and then picture bringing a kid to this Batman movie, right? That doesn't seem like a kid would be interested. I mean, every kid likes Batman, but just when you're sitting there and it's like it turns into like a political thriller at some points, and it's like, oh man, there's corruption, and Bruce Wayne's dad is hired like a hitman. Like, my 5-year-old brain, I don't know if I would necessarily be entertained by that. But anyway, that's just my thoughts on that.